Hello everyone, this is Dawn over at Plot Chronicles. Today I want to review a strange book called Strange Sally Diamond. I actually really liked the book. Let's get right into it. And this book was very interesting because I love books that are character driven, that you really get to know the character. And in some ways, I wish I was a little bit more like Sally, except I wouldn't have as many friends as I do now. Let me just say this. Everyone calls this woman, she's in her 40s, this takes place in Ireland. They call her Strange Sally Diamond. And she is kind of strange, and I'm going to give you an example. She's extremely direct. Whatever is on her mind, she will just say it. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I kind of wish I had more courage that I could say more things that were on my mind. But you know what? I don't think the results of doing that would be positive. So I'll just continue biting down on my tongue. But that being said, she takes everything you tell her literally. Her father, which I'm going to tell you about him in a moment, he said when he passes away, and he would joke about it and said, just throw me out with the garbage. Well, when her father passed away, that's what she did. And that kind of tells you that she takes everything directly literally. You find out, though, in this book that this woman who now is living by herself, that she basically, the people that raised her were not her biological parents. Because I was kind of confused at the beginning of the book because it would go back and tell a story of someone else. And you get to find out who this Sally Diamond's real family is and what went on. And I'm going to tell you, this little girl, thank goodness she got adopted, because she didn't come from the most wonderful family. I'll just say that. And it goes into the story of that. Very interesting story because, like I said, it tells about this little girl, Strange Sally Diamond, but she's now in her 40s, and kind of how she got to how she is now and how she became of who she is. But what else was interesting is that the story itself, when it goes back into time and tells another story which will kind of interject towards the middle of the book, you kind of find out how you are being raised is a lot how you end up raising your family. And so it's a little bit like that. So I don't know if I'm really explaining and describing the book very well, but I do recommend it because it's interesting to learn about characters that aren't like everyday people that maybe you run into, and how your upbringing and nature over nurture, and that could even almost be another video. And I'll just say this. I was adopted when I was a baby, and so was my sister. And I won't get into anything about my sister per se, but I found out that my biological mother was a nurse. Well, I always wanted to be a nurse too. Never knew about that, but I also found out a lot of things about my biological mother later on. Found her through Ancestry.com, but by that time she passed away. But I found out from my, I guess you would say, half-sister, that there's a lot of similarity in our personalities and how we do things. And we were not even, she didn't raise me. So it's kind of nature over nurture. But I think you may like this book. Let me know if you guys have read it. It's by Nugent. I'll list it below, but it's Strange Sally Diamond. But it's a very interesting story, but definitely watch your trigger warnings because there are some unsavory characters. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I love you, appreciate you, and I hope to see you on tomorrow's video. Bye, everybody.